The video shows workers operating a large industrial press or stamping machine. The scene captures one worker maneuvering too close to the machine's hazardous punching area while the equipment is active. Critically, while the machine was cycling, the worker introduced a hand or part of their body into the immediate compression zone. As a consequence, the press's descending component made severe, forceful contact with the worker, resulting in a serious mechanical compression injury. This is a definitive warning for all high-risk metalworking operations. Workers must be absolutely prohibited from placing any body part into the machine's operational area while it is connected to a power source. Facilities must ensure that machine guarding systems are fully functional and that the lockout, tagout, procedure for energy isolation is strictly followed before any intervention in the machine's moving parts. Zone. The footage shows an individual, described as the plant owner, attempting to inspect or perform maintenance inside a large industrial press or compaction machine. The individual enters the machine's hazardous operating zone. Moments after entry, the machine suddenly and automatically cycles or starts its compression function. As a result, the individual sustains a severe impact and forceful trauma from the machine's moving components while trapped inside the work area. This catastrophic failure serves as the ultimate warning regarding machine safety protocols. It underscores the absolute necessity of lockout, tagout procedures to fully isolate and de-energize all machinery before any worker enters the operational or maintenance zones. Never override safety barriers. Personnel must never enter a machine's danger zone while it is connected to a power source, and strict adherence to established machine guarding is mandatory to prevent immediate and devastating impact injuries. The video shows excavators and other heavy machinery operating amidst stockpiled materials, such as large concrete blocks, near the roadway. The already complex and high-risk urban environment is compounded by the poor nighttime visibility. During the operation, an individual is walking behind the active excavator when the machine's superstructure begins to rotate. Due to a critical blind spot, the operator fails to notice the pedestrian, and the rotating body of the excavator makes forceful contact with the person. This incident serves as a severe warning. Nighttime construction sites must implement strict lighting protocols and traffic control to ensure operators have full visibility. It is mandatory to establish clear physical barriers and warning signage around all construction materials and excavation areas. Furthermore, personnel must never enter the swing radius or blind spots of heavy machinery, and operators must be trained to verify clearance before initiating any rotation to prevent severe impact trauma. The video shows a worker operating near the discharge end of an inclined conveyor or chute system designed for moving heavy cartons. The worker is positioned to manage incoming packages. While bending over or standing in an unsafe zone, a large volume of heavy, bulky cartons suddenly slides back down the chute with significant speed and mass. Lacking time to react or move, the worker is immediately subjected to a forceful impact and compression by the collapsing wall of packages at the workstation. This incident serves as a critical warning regarding the hazard of falling or sliding objects and the paramount importance of maintaining safe operating distances from active material handling systems. Critical safety protocols. Receiving areas must be cleared frequently, and workers must always stand in a protected position outside the direct path of sliding or incoming loads to prevent severe impact injury. This surveillance video from a smelting facility captures a severe failure during the overhead transport of molten metal. An overhead crane component snags the ladle, causing the molten material to spill onto the floor, resulting in an intense thermal reaction and massive flash of heat. This incident highlights the catastrophic high-heat hazard in metallurgy. Mandatory safety protocols, rigorous crane inspection, and load balancing are essential during molten material transfer. Strict moisture control on the floor and mandatory use of specialized, heat-resistant PPE are critical to prevent severe thermal injuries. Strict adherence to crane operation and moisture control protocols is mandatory in foundry environments. Failure to prevent molten metal spillage creates an immediate and severe thermal and flash burn hazard, This surveillance footage captures a severe vehicle-pedestrian incident on an active roadway or industrial path, dramatically illustrating the dangers of poor visibility and inadequate separation. The scene shows a pedestrian walking forward when a small industrial vehicle, described as a forklift, approaches from the rear. Due to severely obstructed vision from the driver's perspective, the forklift operator fails to detect the individual in time. The vehicle makes forceful contact with the pedestrian and continues to move forward, causing severe impact and compression trauma. This incident serves as a stark warning. Industrial vehicle operators must prioritize visibility at all times, using audible warnings and mirrors, especially when reversing. Furthermore, personnel must always be vigilant of vehicle traffic, and management must ensure strict physical segregation of designated pedestrian walkways from all heavy equipment lanes to prevent devastating impact hazards. This surveillance video from a heavy industrial setting, such as an oil, gas rig, captures a critical failure involving high-pressure equipment and dynamic forces. The footage shows personnel working near large mechanical and piping systems. During a procedure, a sudden, violent high-pressure rupture occurs, causing an immediate and forceful rotational movement of a component. This instantaneous release of energy subjects a nearby worker to a powerful physical displacement, throwing the individual away from their station. This event clearly demonstrates the extreme and inherent risk of high-pressure system failures and the severe dynamic force hazards present in heavy industrial environments. Rigorous inspection and maintenance of all pressurized implantings equipment are mandatory to prevent sudden component failure. The footage shows a large crane component or lifting apparatus suddenly collapsing from the upper levels of a skyscraper with a glass facade. The falling equipment strikes exterior structures, resulting in significant damage to the building's facade as it descends toward the street below. This incident demonstrates the severe and far-reaching risk of a falling object hazard, threatening not only site workers but also pedestrians and vehicular traffic in the vicinity. All construction and lifting operations must adhere to absolute safety protocols. Rigorous crane installation, inspection, and maintenance procedures are mandatory. Equipment must be correctly anchored and counterweighted, especially when operating at great heights. Furthermore, sites must implement wide, clearly marked exclusion zones and robust debris netting beneath overhead work areas to safeguard the public. Environmental factors, such as high winds, must be routinely assessed and integrated into operational plans to prevent stability compromise. The scene shows an individual working on a large gas cylinder or similar industrial container, specifically engaged in a task involving tightening or adjusting a valve or component. Without warning, the container suffers a catastrophic and violent pressure rupture, resulting in a loud blast and the rapid expulsion of gas and debris. Fortunately, the individual working on the cylinder demonstrates critical awareness and quick reflexes, successfully evading the immediate blast zone just in time and avoiding the severe impact hazard. This incident serves as a crucial reminder of the unpredictable nature of pressure equipment. Personnel must adhere to absolute safety protocols. Any work on high-pressure cylinders or tanks must be performed only by certified, trained professionals following strict decompression and lockout, tagout procedures. Furthermore, proper personal protective equipment, PPE, including eye and face protection, is mandatory, and workers must maintain a safe standoff distance whenever possible during high-risk pressure tasks to prevent severe blunt force trauma from rupture or fragmentation. The scene shows workers performing their duties when a thermal reaction initially manifests as a minor disturbance near the central processing equipment. The disturbance then quickly and violently intensifies, culminating in a major release of extreme heat and energy. This escalating event forces the workers to rapidly evacuate the area and seek immediate cover to avoid exposure to the intense heat and flash hazards. This incident serves as a stark warning about the catastrophic risks inherent in handling molten materials. The key safety lesson is critical. All such facilities must enforce strict thermal safety protocols, including rigorous moisture control to prevent steam explosion reactions, and the mandatory use of heat-resistant personal protective equipment, PPE. Furthermore, All personnel must be thoroughly trained in emergency egress routes and rapid evacuation procedures to ensure they can escape the danger zone promptly and safely.